Okay, so point slope is if you are given a point and a slope. And the equation is, or the formula is, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, we know what m stands for. What's m? Slope. So there's my slope. What do you think the x1, y1 stands for? The point. Ordered pair, x, y. Okay, notice in the formula, there's a minus in front of the y1. A minus means the opposite. Okay, and a minus in front of the x1. Again, minus means the opposite. Okay, so all we're going to do is we are going to label the information given to us, and we are going to write it in point slope form. Now this looks ugly, right? We're never going to leave our answer in point slope form. If you read the directions, it says write all final answers in slope intercept form. So we use point slope form to get our equation, but then we solve it for y to get it in slope intercept form. You always want your answers in slope intercept form, okay? But we can't go straight to slope intercept form if I don't know the y-intercept, okay? So we're going to label our ordered pair, x1, y1. And then I'm going to label my slope, m. We're going to use our formula. So look up here. It's y minus, what did we just label y1? 1 equals, what did we just label m? What's m, guys? 2 times x minus, what's x1? 4. So all I did was replace my y1 with 1, replace my m with 2, replace my x1 with 4. Okay, are we okay with how we got to point slope form? Okay, now we don't leave it in point slope form. We don't like point slope form. It's just the middleman to help us get to slope intercept form. So we're going to draw our line through the equals. What's my first step to solve for y? Distribute. Very good. So I'm going to drop down my y minus 1 equals. What's 2 times x? 2x. What's 2 times negative 4? Negative 8. Very good. Is y by itself now? No. What do I need to do to get y by itself? I want y by itself, so what's on the same side as y? So how do you get rid of a minus 1? Add 1. So then I get y equals what? 2x minus 7. Great job. Is this now in the form y equals mx plus b? Yes, there's my answer in slope intercept form. Now, what's my slope here, guys? 2. What did it tell me my slope should be? If your slope that is given to you and your slope in slope intercept form don't match, you did something wrong. Okay, so that's the first check you do. Whatever the slope is given to you should match the slope in your slope intercept form. Now the second check we're going to do is let's all go to our calculator. We're all doing this with me. Let's all go to our calculator, turn it on, and go to y equals. Top left button, let's go to y equals. So we're all on our calculator, hitting the y equals button. So we're all on our calculator, hitting the y equals button, please. Okay, clear out what's there. I'm going to put y equals, which is already there, 2x minus 7. Okay, so we already checked that my equation has the slope of 2. I need to make sure that this equation has the 0.41 on it. How can I check that? I could graph it, but what pulls up points? The table. So let's do second graph to pull up the table. Remember, second graph to pull up the table. Scroll to where x is 4. Is the ordered pair 4, 1 on my table? Yes. So we have the correct slope, the points on my line. So are we good? My answer is 100% correct. Okay, this is how you can check yourself. Are we seeing why the calculator is beneficial for us? Okay, can you graph when it's in point slope form like this? No, we only can graph if it says y equals, this says y minus 1 equals. That's why we don't like point slope form. We always want it in slope intercept form, okay? Guys, the biggest thing with this, label your information. Make sure that you write neatly so you can read what you're writing, okay? Let's look at the next one. Let's label our ordered pair. X1, Y1. And then my M is 1/2. So let's write our equation. It's Y minus, what's Y1? 4, very good, equals, what's M? 1/2, parentheses, X minus, what's X1? 2, very good. Let's draw our line through the equals, and we're going to solve for Y. What do I need to do first? Distribute. So I'm going to drop down my Y minus 4 equals, and I'm going to distribute what? 1/2. Very good. What's 1/2 times X? 1/2 X. Very good. What's half of 2? 1. And is it positive or negative? Negative, because a positive times a negative is negative. Okay. I want Y by itself. What do we do next? Add 4. There we go. We need to get rid of the minus 4, so we add 4. So we get Y equals 1/2 X. What's negative 1 plus 4? Positive 3. Thank you. So are we now in the form Y equals MX plus B? Yes. What's my M? 1/2. Does that match the M that they gave me? Yes, it does. Okay, so let's now all go to our calculator. Let's all go to our calculator, and we are typing in our equation. Okay, we are all going to our calculator and typing in our equation. How do we put that fraction in again, guys? Alpha Y equals enter. So 1/2 X plus 3. Then I need to check to make sure the 0.24 is on the table. So second table, is 24 on the table? Yes, so we got it right. We have the correct slope, the point's on the line. We got the right answer. Why are we not really graphing these right now, guys? Do you see any graphs? It's not asking us to graph anything, okay? The table is what's going to help us make sure that the point they gave us is actually a point on the line, okay? We good? Okay, let's try number 3. Label your ordered pairs. X1, Y1, and then your slope is M. So your formula, Y minus Y1 equals, what's M? 2/3, very good. X minus, what's X1? -6. Notice how I put the negative there, guys. Minus because that's part of the formula, negative because X1 is negative. What happens with double negatives? Makes one big positive. Do you need this -0? No. So we don't really need that. Subtracting 0 doesn't affect anything. Draw your line through the equals. Is Y already by itself, guys? Yeah, so this one's going to be easier. On the right-hand side, though, do I want to leave it like that? No, what do I want to do? Distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So what's 2/3 times X? And then what's 2/3 times 6? You can type that in your calculator if you need. What's 2/3 times 6? Positive or negative? Positive 4. So let's go to our calculator and check, because Y is all by itself. Does it have the correct slope? Yeah. Y equals M. M is 2/3, which is what it should be. So alpha y equals, enter to put in 2/3 x plus 4. Go to the table, and does it have the point -6, 0 on it? Yes. How are we feeling, guys? It's very procedural, okay? So if you do the stuff in the correct order, if you do the steps in the correct order, I think we're going to be good. Do we like that we can check every single one of these? Okay? I think that's a great thing. Let's try number 4. And then y'all are going to do one on your own. Label x1, y1, and then label your slope. Do we have to memorize this formula? No, it's on your formula chart, okay? So y minus, what's y1? -1 equals, what's m? -3/4 times x minus, what's x1? -8, great job. Okay, let's get rid of our double signs first. What happens to a minus negative? Makes a positive. What happens to this minus negative? Becomes a positive. Guys, I will say this is probably the trickiest part of this, is sometimes we struggle with the double signs. Okay? It's always minus, and then if your number's a negative, it's minus a negative. Okay? Draw your line through the equals. I'm going to drop down my y plus 1. What do I do on the right? On the right-hand side, what do I need to do? Distribute. So -3/4 times x. And then what's -3/4 times +8? What is it? -6. Very good. Keep your y circled, or circle your y. What do I do to get y by itself? Subtract 1 on both sides. Very good. So I get y equals -3/4 x. What's -6 minus 1 more? -7. Okay, let's check on the calculator. Do we have the correct slope? Yes, it matches down here with what it originally is given to me. So -3/4 x minus 7. And then go, does it have -8, -1? Yep. Okay, so we are correct. Y'all are going to do number 5 on your own. When you're doing number 5, please, after you get your answer, check it on the calculator. Check it on the calculator. Okay, guys, let's look at this. Label your point. X1, Y1, and your M. So I have my formula, Y minus Y1, which is -3, equals M, which is -1, times X minus X1 is 4. I saw lots of good substituting. Get rid of your double negatives by making it a positive. Okay, so I'm going to drop down my y plus 3. I need to distribute on the right-hand side. When I do a -1 times x, do you need to keep the 1? No, so I'm just going to write -x. Is it wrong if you put -1x? Is it wrong if you put -1x? No, I saw probably half of y'all put -1x, half of y'all put -x. Both work perfectly. A -1 times a -4 is +4. So then I need to get rid of my plus 3, so I'm going to subtract 3. So we get y equals -x plus 1. And then when you check it on the calculator, it is correct. Okay? Now, point slope works anytime you have a point and a slope. Doesn't matter what point you have. It works anytime I give you a point and a slope. That's why they call it point slope form. They were nice when they labeled these, right? Or named them. Slope intercept, you need a slope and a y-intercept. Point slope, you need a point and a slope. Okay? However, look at number 6. Sometimes the point that's given to you is the y-intercept. How do you know that you are given the y-intercept? X is 0. So this is your y-intercept. Because x is 0. How do you know you have an x-intercept? Y is 0. That's what we talked about in last unit. Okay? If x is 0, you're on the y-axis. Therefore, that negative 9 is my what value? It's your y-intercept. What letter do we use to represent y-intercept? That's your b. So b is negative 9. What's my m? My m is 4. Do I know my m and my b?
Yes.
Do I have to use point slope form, or can I go directly to slope intercept form? Do I have my slope?
Yes.
Do I have my y-intercept? So I can go directly to slope intercept form. So I can just do y equals m x plus b, but my b is a negative 9. And there we go. Do we like that? Does that save us some time? Again, when can you do this? Only when you are given the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, how do you know you have the y-intercept? X is 0. Could you have put this in point slope form and then solve for y? Yeah, we'd get the same exact thing. But which one takes less time? Going straight to slope intercept form. So if you recognize that the point that's given to you is the y-intercept, it's super quick. If you don't, you can still use point slope form and you get the same answer. Okay? Do we like that? Okay, now we are going to go to tables. Okay? When I give you a table, I'm giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Okay? So do you have points here? Yes. Do you know the slope? No, I'm only giving you points. But can we find the slope? Yes. Slope is what over what? Rise over run. What's your rise axis? Y over x. So I can find my change in y. How do you get from 12 to 14? Plus 2. So my m is going to be change in y over change in x. So 2 over, now let's find our change in x. We need to use the same 2 points. So how do I get from 3 to 4? Plus 1. So my change in x is 1. So what's 2 divided by 1? 2. So m is 2. Once I find my m, we like going to slope intercept form first, if possible. Are any of my x's 0? No, so we can't go straight to slope intercept form. So we are going to have to use point slope form because none of these are my y-intercept because I have no x value that is 0. Okay? Can you pick any point you want to be x1, y1? Yeah, because this equation should work for every point on the line. Okay? So I'm going to use 5 and 16. So x1, y1. Okay, so my formula is y minus y1, which is what? Equals m, which is what? Times x minus, what's x1? 5. So we need to solve this for y. We always want it in slope-intercept form. Draw your line through the equals. Drop down your y minus 16. What do I need to do on the right? Distribute. What's 2 times x? What's 2 times negative 5? Okay, I want y by itself. What am I going to do? Add 16. Very good. So we get y equals 2x. What's negative 10 plus 16? Plus 6. Okay? Now, does my calculator give me tables? Yeah, let's go to our calculator, put the equation in, and pull up the table. 2x plus 6. We're all doing this with me. How do you get better at using the calculator? You practice using it. Okay, 2x plus 6. How do we get better at the calculator? We use it, so let's go. So I'm going to pull up the table. Go to 3. 312, 414, 516, 618, and 720. So do all of these points match the points on the graph, on the calculator? Yeah, so my equation is correct. Done. Good? Okay. Next one. Let's find our slope. Let's find our change in y. How do you get from -4 to -3? Add 1. We're getting less negative, so we're adding. How do you get from 0 to 2? Add 2. Very good. So my m is change in y over change in x. Rise over run. Y over x. So 1 over 2. So that's your m. Now, am I given the b? Yes. That right there is your y-intercept because x equals 0. So what does that mean my b value is? B is -4. So do I know my m? Do I know my b? Can I write my equation? Y equals m, which is what? X plus b, but b is a negative, so -4. Can we go to y equals and graph on our calculator? Yep. So alpha y equals, enter, 1/2 x minus 4. Go to the table. 0, -4. Is it okay that 1 -7 over 2 is skipped on my papers table? Yes, they don't have to put all of the values here. They just all have to be correct. 2 -3, does that match? 4 -2, 6 -1, and 8 0. Do they all match? Yep. So are we good? Are we good? Yep. Okay. Next, let's find our slope. Change in y is what? +3. Change in x is what? +1. So m is 3 over 1, which is 3. Do I have my b? Yes, I do. So what's b? -2. So I have my m and my b. What form can I go directly to? Slope-intercept. Y equals m x plus b. So -2. Let's go to our calculator. Notice how we're checking every single one of these, guys. Should you check every single one? Yes. Okay. If these are multiple choice questions, should you essentially be able to get all of them right? Yeah, you can put it in your calculator. Put the equations in the calculator, pull up the tables, and see which ones match. Okay. 0, -2, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 7, 4, 10. Do they all match? Yep. Okay, we're going to do one more together, then y'all are going to do one on your own. So let's find our change in y. How do you get from -4 to -6? How do you get from 6 to 12? So my m is -2 over 6, y over x, which is what? -1/3. Do I have the b this time, guys? Wah, wah. We're going to have to do point slope form then. I'm going to choose 15, negative 7. So x1, y1. And then let's use our formula. Y minus y1. What's y1? Equals m. What's m? Times x minus, what's x1? What do I do with my double signs? Make it into a positive. Drop down your y plus 7. What do I do on the right? So what's negative 1/3 times x? And what's negative 1/3 times negative 15? Negative negative is a positive, so positive 5. I want y by itself, so what are we going to do? Subtract 7. We awake, Dominic? So I get y equals negative 1/3 x minus 2. Very good. Can we get our calculator in check? Yep. So negative 1/3 x minus 2. Guys, is it going to come to a point where I'm not going to help you at all on the calculator on your tests? Like right now, if you forget how to do something on your calculator, do I help you when you ask? Some of y'all came up to me during the test, how do I put a fraction in the calculator? I reminded you, okay? It's going to come to a point where I'm not going to, because if you're not practicing in class, you're not going to remember how to do it, okay? I can't help you on the STAR test. So go to the table, and let's see if they match. 6, negative 4, 12, negative 6, 15, negative 7, 18, negative 8, and 24, negative 10. So do they all match? Yep. Okay, I want you all to do number 5 on your own. Do number 5 on your own. Okay, let's look at number 5, guys. Find your change in y. How do you get from 26 to 22? How do you get from negative 4 to negative 2? Plus 2. So my m is negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. Okay. Now, if you notice, this one looks slightly different on the table because look at the next one. 22 to 10. How do you get from 22 to 10? Minus 12. So that's not the same as minus 4, is it? But let's look over here. How do you get from negative 2 to 4? Plus 6. What's negative 12 divided by 6? Do you get the same slope? Yes. Okay, how do you get from 10 to 6? How do you get from 4 to 6? What's negative 4 over 2? Do you get the same slope? So even though the change in y is not consistent and the change in x is not consistent, the ratio of the change in y over change in x does stay constant. Okay? So that's why I said whenever we are choosing points, it does not matter which 2 points you choose. If it is a linear function, your slope will remain constant. Okay? So are any of these points my B or my y-intercept? No, which one do we want to use for x1, y1? We can choose any one. Tell me which one we want to choose. 6 and what? 6 and 6. Okay, both those are positive numbers. So x1, y1. So let's write our formula. Y minus, what's y1? Equals, what's m? Negative 2 times x minus, what's x1? Draw your line through the equals. Drop down your y minus 6. What do I do on the right side? What's negative 2 times x? What's negative 2 times negative 6? plus 12. Let's circle our y. What do I do to get y by itself? Add 6. So then I get y equals what? Negative 2x plus 18. Let's go to our calculator to check. Negative 2x plus 18. Go to your calculator to check. Type in negative 2x plus 18. Go to your calculator to check. We're typing in negative 2x plus 18. Then pull up the table. Go to negative 4. That matches. Negative 2 matches. 4 matches. 6 matches. And 10 matches. Good? Are we okay not doing the last one, guys? Do we feel pretty confident about this? Okay. So you have 30